Today, my agency just surpassed the $8,500 per month mark, and it's obviously exponentially growing. And the best part about this is I'm only 18 years old as of today, February 28th. Now, I know that figure seems insane, obviously for my age, but it's not been an easy path, and it hasn't been that smooth sailing 30-day, 10K per month mark that every guru tells you. It's been 6 months of relentless hard work, failures, losing a lot of money, and losing a lot of time. But obviously, it all comes out in the end if you keep resilient, and then the results will come. So around 6 to 7 months ago, I was scrolling on YouTube and I found a video from, now that I know, a very famous guru who was telling me that it was possible to make 10K per month in 30 days. Now, at the time, I was working a warehouse job that I absolutely hated. It was from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. It was decent money, but obviously them long hours, I was stuck in the matrix, I was stuck in the 9 to 5, and obviously I needed a way out, and this seemed so appealing to me because of the amount it was, how young it was, and how quick it was. So once I found this video, I remember on the Monday morning phoning up the warehouse job and telling them that I was going to quit, because I had no doubt in my mind, I was promised by the guru that I was going to make the 10K per month in 30 days. Now, obviously, don't quit your job. I was thinking about quitting anyway, but this was sort of like the stepping stone to be like, okay, if I just focus on this as hard as I can, I will be able to achieve what he achieved, because he's the same age as me and he's no cleverer than me, in my opinion. So I was like, okay, I can hit this. So I quit the job on the spot, and yeah, I started my SMA journey from there.
And what it takes to build a successful agency.
But trust me here, the number of agency owners I see start to grow your agency and you get past 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 a month.
So then I planned out my offer. I was going to service deliver for local businesses, social media marketing, because I believed it was the easiest thing and it was the only thing that I knew how to do. And they were like, oh yeah, it's very good to go local businesses and something like social media marketing and management. So it's not too hard, right? So I was like, okay, this is the perfect model for me. I'm going to start outreaching now. So I wrote down my 2 cold emails telling them that their business is awful and they're not going to be able to grow without social media, because I was told that I needed to put a pain point in the cold email. So I remember writing, I've been looking at your business's social media and you won't be able to scale much further because your social media is capped because it's not at this level or this. And it was just a rude, very rude email. And then the solution that was me. Okay, I was like, okay, I can come in and get you this and this. I was promising a load of waffle and a load of nothing, no figures, no guarantee. I was just like, look, I can run it and probably help you grow. That was my idea. So I sent the mass number of 2 cold emails that night. I know, probably a bit too much. But yeah, I sent the 2 and I was like, okay, this is 100% going to land. I went to bed thinking, wow, I've already landed like 2 clients. Like, this is going to be like $3,000 per month. Okay, I'm literally scaling so quick. I need to like get a back end. I need to hire an accountant. So then I wake up the next day and I check my emails and I hadn't been replied to. I remember that morning I was very shocked and very confused of like what's going on. The SMA gods have told me that this is going to work if I do like 5 to 10 a day. I know I did 2, but like it was really good copy. Like I put down 20 lines of like what I do. I explained my whole business. Why have they not signed? I even wrote a first line. And then we showed it to my business partner's mom, who's been in business for a very long time now, and she generally couldn't tell if we were joking. She actually laughed at us a little bit and was like, this is the worst thing I think I've ever seen. Now, because I'd quit my job and he'd dropped out of college, there was no other option except for like going back to the drawing board and restarting the SMA, restarting our ideology on it and how to do it. And this is where we started working a lot harder. And in 2 weeks, we landed our first client. Now, this was a social media management client and he paid a whopping £110 every single month, which is like $130. Now, we landed this client through the use of family friends. I remember watching a video that was like, okay, leverage everyone that you have when you're starting SMA. And I was like, okay, perfect. So I messaged every single person that I knew, like family, friends, family, just friends, absolutely everyone. And finally, yeah, we got a response for £110, and then we worked for him for about 3 months. Now from here, we tried to scale the social media management because we were like, if we can get 100 clients, we're at 10K a month, and that's how the whole business structure worked. And we were like trying to debate like, oh, do we go 150, 200 so much or whatever? And it just had such self-limiting beliefs, and it just shows that you can change from like £110 client to a few grand client. So we started looking at other ways because we were like, okay, social media management isn't really working, and this is where we stumbled across the guru heaven called ecom. Now, because we dropped out of work and he dropped out of college, we had so much time. We were learning 10 times quicker than anyone else. So we were learning about how to actually write an email, how to get the software set up. Everything was being learned twice as fast because there was 2 of us, then 10 times as fast because we had 10 times the time. Now, ecom was some of the most painful months I've had in SMA. It was 5:30 wake up. We'd have to write all our first lines by the end of the week to do like 1,000 each. Then we had to spam our DMs. We'd have to make some looms because we're the only people making looms and they'd definitely watch it. We used to spam the loom link in DMs and stuff. But the only reason it worked was due to the sheer volume that we were sending. Whenever I speak to anyone now, they're like, why were you sending that much? We were like, okay, volume is key. If we could just send it to as many people as we can, we will land. Now this worked. Obviously we landed a few here and there. We scaled to about 3 to 4k, but from there we didn't really know what to do. Because the profit margins were so low, because we were spending so much on email lists, and then we'll try to hire first line writers and then like lemnists and stuff like that, we were spending too much money and too much time that it generally wasn't really possible, because ecom niche is just so hard to get into and it's so competitive that trying to outbeat your competition is kind of impossible. Now, nearing the end of last year, we lost a few clients and this dropped our revenue down a lot. And we were like, okay, if we're finding it this hard to obtain clients and like if we're not really bringing them in, this is not really a profitable business and I don't know why we're still here. This is where we found out what a creative agency was. We found it out from Grace and Lupus, and we were like, okay, this sounds like something we'd be more interested in, because we do a lot of YouTube now, and that's what we were starting. Even at ecom, we were doing YouTube and we were like, okay, we know content, we know how to grow accounts, we know how to do this and that, we know how to script videos, we know how to do thumbnails. This sounds like a bit more of a better idea. Now, after a few weeks of thinking, is this the right idea? Luckily, obviously, like I said, we lost 2 clients. Obviously, unlucky at the time, but luckily looking back on it now, because that was that switch of like, okay, let's hop now and really trying to scale this up compared to what we're actually doing. Now, obviously, the start was very rocky and obviously very hard because you still don't know how to edit, you don't know how to do this, you don't know how to do that. But because our experience had compounded, we were seen as sort of the gods of acquisition. We knew how to build acquisition systems, and we were like, if we just pair acquisition on top of short form content, let's just mix the two together. Now that's where we landed our first client for $1,200. Now, after a few clients, we tried to drop the acquisition offer because at a certain point we were connecting with people that were such high status that the referrals just for like short form content or script writing or just the creative side was so high compared to the acquisition. Acquisition's very competitive. It was just so much easier to scale that side. Now, obviously, we kept what we knew about acquisition to sign our own clients, so it sort of just paired together and was sort of a perfect way to start scaling our agency. From where we were just doing like sort of shorts to now having a client where we do absolutely everything from consulting, SEO, thumbnails, video editing, short form content editing. The whole package as a creative agency is so much more fulfilling and so much better for us as an agency, which has allowed us to actually scale to where we want to be, because it's crazy to see how you can go from sort of a few short form content clients and then you scale out your creative agency. We've got a very high ticket client at the moment where we do everything from A to Z. So we do like consulting, thumbnails, video editing, SEO, banners, title, absolutely everything you can think of we're doing for the client just to push his course sales, which we've already added an extra 8k MRR to. Now, this is only because we worked our asses off for the last 6 to 7 months and actually can provide real value now instead of just, oh, we might be able to do like a short view. We provide the best quality and we're quite a high ticket agency that you want to work with rather than someone that will get washed out in a few months. So now we're at $8,500 per month, obviously hopefully growing to next month, which will be our first 10k month, which will be crazy. 6 months later than the gurus had told me, but you know, it gets bigger and better every day. Now, I assume that most people watching are similar situations to where I was, maybe even a bit better. I mean, hopefully you're not sending 2 emails and hopefully landing off of the back of it. We started in probably a worse position than most people, and it just shows it is actually possible. I'm not going to be sitting here and be like, you could do it in 30 days, because you probably can't unless you have a experience in business or something like that. It's very hard to scale to that point. You need to learn a lot. Now, it's just about at the start learning and understanding how SMA works, how value works, how offer works, how psychology works. Once you find out that and you keep resilient and keep going, if you can sort of pass that 4, 5, 6 month mark, the market will start catching up to you. You'll have so many skills and the market will then have to start paying you and catching up. You'll see it as like overnight success. We were like, okay, wait, we're not really making, and then you make a lot of money. So that's how it compounds. It's not going to be like a steady sort of, it could be, but I doubt it is. A lot of people that I speak to, it's like, okay, yeah, I've been working for this long and then bang, I made this much. Hopefully this is some motivation and quite inspiring for some of you out there to keep going and keep working as hard as you can. Don't listen to other people saying this is dead, because ecom may work for you. I'm not going to sit here and say this doesn't work or that doesn't work. Do whatever you want, but make sure you understand that no matter what you do, it's going to take time and you're going to have to actually learn the skill to implement it to become a more valuable person. So start working, stick with it, and you'll be hitting them dream numbers very soon.